you see? Can everyone see?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, perfect. So we're just gonna go in this order. So how to buy your first rental property in 90 days, and then this is what you'll walk away with. So we're in this part, right? So this is for women ready to build passive income through real estate, beginners who feel overwhelmed, anyone seeking financial freedom and ownership, and then future first gen wealth builders. So thankfully, because of real estate investing, I was able to quit my 9 to 5 currently, and now I'm making it a mission to teach other people to do the same because right now my rental properties are giving me passive income to pay my basic needs. Whatever money I make on top of that would be for trips or any other things that I need or that I want to spoil myself with. So luckily and thank God, these properties based on analyzations and learning about passive cash flow have been able to help me, already start my own business. So that's why I want to teach others to do the same. So it's mainly for women who also want to build equities as well and increase your net worth. So my story, I am a daughter of immigrant parents, Colombian and Venezuelan, and my parents worked in everything: cleaning, construction, plumbing, the bus services. You already know, Yvette, that my family has been doing bus services for years. We used to sell ayacas on the street, the Venezuelan way. So, as you can tell, we were very, very much hustlers, right? We knew how to work hard, but I did want to find a way to not just work hard, but also find a way to build passive income on top of the hard work. I did graduate college during COVID, and it was very hard to find a job, but I did land a full-time W-2 job paying 16 per hour. So I bought my property without a real estate license. And then after 5 years, I built a 500,000 plus net worth by 26 by repeating this formula. So I went in with a W-2, I used up all my savings, invested in a property, and then duplicated it every year, learning about lending strategies, passive income opportunities, and just really the power of real estate, not just building equity, but also building cash flow along the way. So I'm nobody special. If I can do it, so can you. So that's why I'm teaching other people, because it's actually easier than it sounds. It's not that complicated. You just need to organize yourself. So why did I choose real estate? Because I did look up, one of the things that I looked up was how to make money without too much money. Because obviously, coming out of college, I did not have that much money. So, of course, I looked at stocks, I looked at other like real estate investment funds. But why real estate? Well, first, I found out that it does build generational wealth. So, not only, when you buy a piece of property, it's just worth, like when you buy a car, it depreciates in value, it depreciates in taxes, but over time, if you want to wait 10 years, 20 years, you're going to end up selling it for more and then making a profit off of it. So it does build wealth generationally. I know that my husband's parents did also invest in real estate, and because of that, they have been able to get passive income as well, and they can pass that down to their children if God forbid they ever do pass away. So that's something that I really, really liked about real estate. You also can get cash flow every month from rentals. I like that because not only am I building wealth in the long term, but I'm also getting a little piece of cash every month from owning these properties. Like I said, it does appreciate over time. So over time, it gains in value. And then the tax benefits. That's definitely what I like about real estate, because you can, like I said, during taxes, it depreciates. So you can write off expenses and then use it for your business. But over time, it actually does appreciate. And you have control over your future. So now, because my properties are paying my passive income, I'm able to build this business that I want to do to be able to help others do the same. So, um, this is just an example on how the real estate appreciates over time. So as you can see, in 2017 all the way to 2024, it has been going up. It does drop, like we know, in 2018, and it's dropping right now between 2022 to 2023. But over time, just like stock, it always goes up. So as you can see, this is the listing price. That means these are the prices of real estate. As you can see, everything is dropping. What does this tell you about your current market? What does that mean if prices are going down? Does anyone have an answer?
If it's
Well,
down and you have money, you can buy.
Yes, you don't need to have money, but yes, it's a buyer's market. So what's good is that because home prices are down and people don't want to buy due to the high interest rates, it is a buyer's market, meaning people are buying, people are negotiating. There's a duplex that sold right behind mine for 150,000. That's a two unit. Okay? Last year it was listed at 250. That's $100,000 difference. So
Oh
this
my
person,
God.
imagine, and this person bought it, they got funding for it. So that's what it's telling you. Yes, the interest rates have increased, but that can always change. Now, the property prices do not change. So, this is a good buyer's market. Just keep in mind. Now, when the interest rates drop, just like they did in 2020 and everyone was buying, then the prices started raising up. So, everything is going down, as you can tell, and this tells you that it is a buyer's market. So, this is another type of graph that I said that I showed here from 1980, how real estate has been appreciating over time. Of course, it shows the 2008 drop over here, but no matter what, even when it did drop, it still goes up. And if it drops again, it's still going to go up over time. So, and this is a description of the chart between 1975, 1980, there was a slow growth. 1980 to 2000, steady increase. The boom years was right before the recession. So that's happening again. There's boom years, the rapid price appreciation, and then boom, the great recession, sharp decline. Everyone's going bankrupt. But then the people that go bankrupt, people have been buying from those foreclosures and bankruptcy, and then the market starts stabilizing again. Right now, there is a growth, but we see property prices going down. So it's just a little chart on the history of real estate. So let's get into the most important part. What steps you need to take to be able to invest in real estate. The first step is organizing your finances. It's so, so important. First of all, and I know a lot of people haven't been able to do it before, or I know people who just still don't have a bank account. Please open your own bank account, okay? That's a savings and a checkings account. That's very important. I know everyone has one, but there are a lot of people that I've met that don't. So please open a bank account and get a credit card. If you don't have credit, then you can't invest in real estate because they will check your credit. So get a credit card. Now, don't get a credit card and then apply for a loan. Okay, when you open a line of credit, you have to wait 6 months before investing in real estate. Okay, so when you open a credit card, open it up, use it for groceries, basic needs. Make sure you pay it off every month, right? Make sure to not use 30% of each credit card, and then after 6 months, invest in real estate. That's the same thing with car loan payments, car payments. When you open up an account, what that's credit, you're going to have to wait 6 months. Okay, build and protect your credit score, track your expenses as well. Make sure, okay, how much money am I bringing in after all of my expenses, right? And think like a business owner. Now is the time to really organize all of your expenses and all of your profits. Okay, do I need all of these subscriptions to these streaming channels? Maybe not. Do is my can I pay off my car a little bit closer? So track your expenses, make sure that you have at least some money to pay off a mortgage. A mortgage is very much like a rent, except you're putting a down payment for the home for you to own it. Okay, I've had mortgages that are $600, $700, even 1,200. That's the price of a rent. So just make sure that you track your savings and track your expenses to see if you can afford a mortgage, which basically is like affording rent. Um, you need to be organized with your money before deciding to invest. So just track your finances. You can use Excel. That's what I love to use. Now, the second step would be define your strategy. There are very much many strategies in real estate, okay? There's long-term rentals, there's Airbnb, there's BRRRR, and there's house hack. I just want to make sure, and there's house hacking. Okay, so a long-term rental, just to go in a little bit deeper, is a rental in which you buy a property and then you rent it out for a year plus. That's what I like to do. I love long-term rentals. It gives me a profit at least per month between 500 to $700. Okay, depending how what your mortgage is and how you price it in the specific area. Long-term rentals are passive cash flow, but it does take longer to build. Now, Airbnb, actually, that brings you a lot higher cash flow than long-term rentals, but it is a lot more management on your side. So you definitely have to think as a business owner in Airbnb. But I know that people have made between $5,000 to $10,000 in passive income per month just from Airbnb. Now, there is the BRRRR strategy, that's buy, rehab, renovate, refinance, and then repeat. That's when you buy a property. I've done this as well. You renovate it, and this doesn't have to be a big renovation. I don't recommend doing plumbing. I don't recommend doing electrical work. I don't recommend doing anything that has to do very large renovations. I would not invest into that property because it would cost a lot more to renovate. BRRRR is basic renovations that are nice to the eye. So that's just flooring, white paint. Maybe we can change the kitchen cabinet, not even the whole kitchen cabinets, because even that's expensive, but like the little um how do I say it, the little holder, like where you open and close the cabinets. If you change it into a more modern finish, then it would be a lot more, it would look nicer, and then you can raise rent for that. And then once you own it for at least a year, you can refinance it. So let's say the interest rates drop 4% next year, or even 5%. You can refinance it, and then your mortgage actually goes down when you refinance it. And then you repeat the same strategy. It's a cash out refinance. So you refinance it, get money back from the renovations that you did from the property because you increased it in value, and then you use that money to buy your next property. So that's the fun thing about a BRRRR. And then house hacking is when you live in one unit, or a lot of people do, they buy a duplex, you live in one unit, rent the other out, the other person pays for your mortgage. So those are different types of strategies. Then you choose your market and then their property type, okay? So the market that you choose, it matters, right? Like we said, Miami is too expensive. You're not really going to see too much cash flow from it, but Florida overall is a good market to invest in because everyone is moving here. That's why all of my properties so far, which I will diversify in the future, but so far they have been profitable in the Florida market because people from New York are living here, people from California are moving here. So this is still a very hot market. And then what type of property do you want to invest in? Do you want a single family home, rent out the rooms? Do you like a multifamily home? Do you want to rent out each unit as well? And then clarify your goals. What are your goals? Do you care about cash flow? Do you care about equity? Do you care about appreciation, your lifestyle, right? What is it that you want to get out of real estate? So I did do a little mindset exercise in what you have to kind of sit down and think, what does your dream life look like? Do you want that passive income to be able to quit your job and see what else you want to do, um, or what business you want to build, right? Do you want to gain equity, buy a property, and then just cash out from it, sell it out, and then use that money to buy your dream home? What does your dream life look like, right? I urge you to meditate on it, see what it is that you want out of life, and then see, okay, based on my personal goals, what strategy is better for me? Do I want to make real estate my full-time W-2? Or do I just want to invest and have someone else manage the property while I can profit off of it? So it's a lot to think about, right? But it's important because I want to make sure that when you're getting into real estate, it's for the right reasons, and it's the reasons that will get you closer to the dream life that you want. Personally, for me, I wanted to work less and make money without trying to stress so much. And, I don't mind working hard now to be able to do that in the future. And I did. And I'm the one who decided to manage my properties. I'm the one who decided to renovate them and then rent them out. And right now, thankfully, I'm making passive cash flow, but I do want to make this a full-time thing, and I do want to teach others to do the same. So I'm still working towards my dream life, but in 5 years, I have been able to get that passive cash flow that I need to focus on what I actually truly want to do and help people do as well. So I urge that you pray on it, that you meditate in it, and then we'll discuss, okay, what strategies do you want? Now, step 3, understand the numbers. The numbers are are very important, right? Because it's important to understand any mistakes that you make can be expensive. So your cash flow is your income from the property minus your expenses. With my properties personally, I make sure that I only pay the mortgage, and within the mortgage is insurance and taxes, and my tenants pay for utilities, meaning electricity and water. So my cash flow would be my mortgage. Yeah, it would be it would be, sorry, my income per month minus my mortgage, and that's it. And that would be my cash flow. So right, that's just as an example. But if you do want to provide water, or if your HOA does provide water, you can also offer that. It's really up to you and what cash flow you would like to make on the property, also to make your property more desirable for tenants, right? There, we do use cap rate and return on investment to measure the profitability. So the cap rate is the rate of capitalization on a property uh, that is analyzed before you buy a property, just to make sure it is a good investment. And then with funding is very important. So there are different types of loans. There's FHA, which is the first time home buyer loan, which is a 3.5% down payment. So like I said, to invest in real estate, you need money, right? But you don't need so much money. So let's say you have a $200,000 property that you're interested in. Let's say it's a condo. 0.035 of that is $7,000. Realistically, that's what you would need to invest in a property, and that's an FHA loan, right? There are conventional loans though at 5%. So you don't have to have the full 20% to invest in a property. You can have between 3.5 to 5% to 10%. There are also private lenders where it's 0% down as well, that and DSCR loans, which basically measures the profitability of the actual property. So let's say you want to measure the profitability of a multifamily that you saw, right? And you can tell and you can prove it that the rents are going to be higher than the mortgage is going to be. They will give you a loan about that. So there are definitely a lot of types of loans that you can apply for in order to be able to pay for these properties. I do have great lender relationships, and if you guys need any recommendations, I could provide them to you, because the loans at first they weren't easy to get, but once I learned the numbers, once I talked to a bunch of network of people who can help me out, then it became easier, and then I was able to replicate it year over year because I did start in 2020. Now, what's important here is building the right team. You cannot do, well, not that you can't do this alone, just don't do it alone. You need people that you can trust to help guide you and get you the best prices possible so you can cash flow on these properties, okay? So the team that you specifically need, you need to find realtor relationships. And I am not talking about any type of realtor. Everyone and their mother has their license, and like I said, because it's profitable, but you need a realtor that has investment properties and understands the numbers that I just told you: return on investment, ROI, equity, cash flow. I want someone who understands investment strategies, who has done it before, and who can do the math with me when it comes to analyzing cash flowing properties. You also need a lender. A lender can guide you. Okay, you know what? Let's start with an FHA loan and then let's transfer it year over year. A 3.5% down loan, you can transfer it. You have to use it, live in the property for 1 year, and then you can use it again, but it has to make sense, right? So one of the things that I did is, one of my first purchases was a condo. What I did is I bought it with the FHA loan, 3.5% down, lived in it for a year, renovated it, and then I transferred that FHA loan into a duplex. So the duplex that I bought was also at 3.5% down. Why? Explained to the bank, hey, I live in a condo, I have an HOA, I want something bigger, so I want to live in a duplex. So it has to make sense, the reason as to why you're moving that loan, but it can be done, and a lender can guide you to it perfectly. You could also have a property manager. A property manager is important if you don't want to manage your properties. I still manage my properties because I want to take advantage of the cash flow. Property managers do take a percentage of your cash flow. So they will take between 5% to 10%. So keep that in mind every single month. Keep that in mind, but they will handle all of the hard work for you. So they will pre-screen your tenants, make sure they're good tenants, collect rent payments if something happens to the property, the fridge, AC, anything that you want to take care of, as a landlord, they will take care of it for you. You just have to pay them monthly a portion of your profits. So that's why a property manager is important. I don't suggest when you're starting off using it, but when you have more units, it makes sense. I don't use it myself. An insurance agent, very, very important. You need an insurance agent that has great partnerships and can at least give you 3 different quotes. Don't get an insurance agent that gives you one quote. They need to give you three different quotes when it comes to flood insurance, hurricane insurance, mold insurance, because it does happen. So, not only do you want an insurance agent that can provide you separate quotes, but also has partnerships with appraisers and other people within the industry. Okay, so very important to find your right insurance agent. Just to give you a little bit of background information, I chose an insurance agent wrong. That when I closed on the property, they never sent out my flood insurance check, which I paid at closing. And then after, when my property did flood, I couldn't get that covered because the insurance agent never sent out the check. So the repair that I had to do was all on my own, out of my own pocket. But thankfully, I did apply for helps and disaster assistance to help me, and I was lucky in that instance. But after that, I am very, very picky with my insurance agents. Now, leverage expertise. You don't have to do it all. Talk to professionals. The fact that you're already here is great because you're learning. Take the time to learn. Talk to other investors. See what they have done. See what strategy you like. See their experience as well. And then you can make a decision whether you want to invest or what type of investment you want to make. A strong team means a faster and safer success. So it's very important for you to have a good team. And you can network. Most of the investors and lender partnerships and realtor partnerships I have found through Facebook groups. There are Facebook groups that are real estate investors in Miami, real estate investors in Cape Coral, and they'll even send out deals. You can find deals from those investors. Also, bigger pockets. I listen to the podcast, I've watched the YouTube videos, and I follow them on Facebook. They are great. They're a community of investors who have succeeded, and they're honestly a big reason as to why I learned a lot about real estate because and why I trusted it because so many different people from so many different backgrounds have invested in real estate through different investment methods and they have done so well. So, bigger pockets, I recommend them 100%. Step five is know the true cost. So, like I said, a down payment can be between 3.5 to 20%, depending on the loan that you're looking for. Closing costs can be between 2 to 6%, and you can actually negotiate that directly with your lender. You do have to pay for inspection, appraisal, and reserve. So, make sure that's part of the 2.6% and build your funding plan early. So, what I suggest you guys to do first is talk to a lender to get you pre-approved. Have them look at your finances, your debt to income ratio, and they'll tell you, hey, you, based on your income, you can get pre-approved for 200,000, right? From there, you can get an idea of what your monthly mortgage will be. Let's say you got a 200,000 home, $200,000 home, and your mortgage will be $2,000. Okay, well, investing in this area are the rents $2,000, right? So you need to already get an idea, and which is why it's so important to talk to a lender before even looking at properties or shopping. See what you're pre-approved for. Once they pre-approve you and give you an estimate of what your mortgage will be, start looking for properties not at the price they approve you for, but that and less. I always go under so I can make sure that I can make cash flow from each of the properties that I buy. So get approved first when you're ready to invest and make sure that you talk to a lender who knows investment strategies and you tell them your goal. That's what I did. Hey, hey, look, I am interested in investing in real estate. This is not my primary home. I want to continue investing next year and the year after that and the year after that. What is a game plan that you have for me so I can continue getting approved? And that way, that lender will create a game plan just for you. Why? Because they want you to continue using them as a lender year over year. So you can get a great relationship with lenders by telling them exactly what you're looking for. Now, this is just an example of one of my deals. My purchase price was at 240,000. My rehab, like I told you, very, very light rehab. As you can see, the rent here was at 1,200. It was already rented when I bought it out. What I did is I updated the flooring. I painted it white because the yellow looks so old. I painted the cabinets white as well. I changed the countertop to like a fake, really nice looking countertop. Didn't do that much. Rehab was around $1,000. My monthly mortgage is 2013. This is a duplex that I just recently bought. My monthly income is 2,700. They pay for water and electricity. My monthly income from this one of these properties here $687 per month. So that's just an idea as to what I did. I bought it at 240, and this is the one that's in the higher price range. Now it's worth 150, but it's not a big deal to me. I'm not freaking out. Why? Because it's still making me cash flow and I'm not selling it anytime soon. If I were to sell it, okay, yeah, I would panic a little bit. Why? Because I'm gonna sell it and I'm gonna still have a mortgage to pay. But because I have a mortgage, I have tenants in there and I'm making monthly income and I pre-screen them correctly, there's no point of selling. I'm just enjoying the cash flow. Within 10, maybe 20 years, it's gonna go up in price and I can sell it if I want to. So that's just an idea of one of my properties. So let's recap. The 90-day blueprint that I have is organize first, organize all of your finances. Make sure that you have some cash flow coming in to be able to cover anything that you are missing, right? Let's say your property doesn't rent for 1 month. Okay, at least you have the savings to be able to cover that month until you find a good tenant. Then you strategize. Then we're gonna put into mind, okay, what is it that we want to do? What do we want? Do we want cash flow? Do I want to quit my job? Do I just want to hold the property, get rent, and then sell it in the future, renovate it, and get that cash from that? What is it that you want to do? Or do you want to start an Airbnb business? Do you like interior design? Do you like hosting people? And do you want to make a good cash flow out of that as well? So let's strategize, find what we want to do, analyze. After we know what strategy we want to go into, we start analyzing deals. We start looking, okay, what is a good uh property for me, right? What am I pre-approved for? Okay, what is the cash flow this property is going to bring me if I buy it in this specific market? What do the rents look like? Build your team, right? Find your lenders, find your real estate agents, find your property managers, appraisers, insurance agents. Build your team and just buy. Just go for it. Don't stay stuck in analysis paralysis, meaning you're just looking at properties, looking at properties, looking at properties, and then you never end up buying, and then you miss out on everything. Actually, the house right here is some. I have an investor who just bought this house, and now they're putting it on Section A, and they're receiving 1,500 from this next door neighbor. While I'm here receiving 1,350 per unit, but it's okay. I'm gonna put next. My next strategy is now gonna be Section 8 because they pay so much more, and you get paid by the government. Once I do that, I'll make a class on that. But just a little fun fact, this little rundown property was bought by an investor and now they're making cash flow from it. So, like I said, this is real. You can do it. It's not that hard. If I did it, and at 26 years old, not too much reserves, not too much cash, I know you guys can do it too. So, I am going to start a mentorship program for a 4-week mentorship program in which each week we're going to work together on how to learn funding, strategy. We're going to review our deals together. I'm going to teach you how to analyze deals. I'm going to take you through the closing process as well. Every week we're going to coach. I'm going to coach you based on the progress that you've made, right? Even if it's like, oh, but my credit isn't good. Okay, this is what we can do. We can partner with each other on like different ways on removing any liens from your credit, because a lot of that is really just sending a letter. It's work, yes, but it can improve your credit, right? Or, oh, I don't have a good lender, I don't know what strategy I want. I'll be able to help and train you as well, and you're going to see other people going through the same problems as you, and you can help each other. And there's going to be a community of women investors in which you get to refer each other agents, refer each other lenders, and on top of the connections that I currently have. So we're going to connect you with a team of realtors, lenders, while mentoring you. So the 4-week mentorship program, the first week will be getting your finances lender ready. I have PowerPoints as well that you can review. I have a video of what you need to do, what you need to look at, how to analyze your debt to income ratio, what is the credit score that lenders are looking for? What is the credit score that can be accepted based on the type of loan that you're looking for? Anything that you need to do in order to get you approved is what we're going to cover in week 1. Then in week 2, we're going to cover what investment strategy works best for you. So we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of each investment strategy, right? What is the pros of Airbnb investing? What is the pros of Burr investing? What is the pros of long-term investing? What's the pros? Even we're going to talk about wholesaling as well. What are the pros and cons, and what are the types of people you need per strategy? So who is your dream team per strategy? Because it's very different per strategy. Airbnb For instance, if you're going to do that, you definitely need a property manager. But if you're going to do buy and hold, you're not really going to need that. That's not the most important person that you need on your team. So we're going to talk about what investment strategy works for you. We're going to dive in deep into each strategy and then who you need for these strategies. And during that week, we're going to find these people for you to make sure that they support what you want in your goals. Week 3 will be how to find and analyze deals. So now that we're lender ready, now that we know what we want to do, what business we want to do, now we're going to learn, okay, now that we have this foundation, what are the deals that we're looking for, okay? Are we finding multifamilies? Do we want to find a condo in front of the beach for Airbnb? Do you want to just start off with a condo? Or one big single family house that you can rent out the rooms to college students because it's right by FIU. So we need to find these deals and then we're going to analyze them to see if they're profitable. So we're going to go through the market rents. We're going to see, okay, so basically this property rented the lowest at this. This is what we can charge for it. This is what we need to do to fix it up as well. And what formulas you need to know so you can replicate it in your next deals. And in week 4, I'm going to take you through the closing process, what to expect when it comes to appraisal, inspections as well. What lenders are going to continue looking for and continue asking you for, how to be ready for that, how to negotiate with lenders, how to negotiate with the seller as well, because an inspection comes back with some things that you don't like. We can negotiate that. We can even negotiate interest rates. My last property, 7% interest rate, right? That's the basic, right? But I was able to negotiate with the seller. Instead of getting things fixed, they gave me money to buy my interest rate down. So the interest rate that I got for that property, that duplex, was actually 5%. So I'm going to teach you how to be able to do that based on what you're looking for, right? So that's what we're going to cover. It's going to be a 4-week program in which you're going to learn, and at the same time, I'm going to teach you. So the Our Own Empire Academy, it's a 4-week live mentorship program. It is just a basic price of 597. Usually, it should be between 797 and 997 based on other prices that I've been looking at. But it's really just going to be one price in which you can access the school and all of the future trainings that I'm going to put on. So that's a training. Someone was asking me about a training when it comes to Section 8. Someone was asking me about a wholesaling training. So as trainings come on, because it's, my first community, you get all the trainings additionally for free. So it's just one price of 597, weekly calls for 4 weeks, and then anytime that I put in a new training or a new step-by-step guide, I will be able to help you with that. And then you do get private access to lenders, construction companies as well if you want to renovate your properties, realtors as well, and property managers. Okay, so like I said, you don't have to do this alone. We can build your empire together. And I do have a free checklist as well. So that's really the end of my presentation.